Ellenberger doesn't have the nicest things to say about you on Twitter, and was kind of little, sent some tweets that were a little bit questionable. How do you feel about that in this matchup?
Well, I kind of actually haven't looked at the tweets. I really don't care what Ellenberger says. I'm going to do what I do July 12th, and he's going to see what the Wonder Boy's made of.
You had the chance to fight in the main event earlier this year. Obviously, the fight didn't go through, but you're getting that opportunity again. How important is it for you to showcase all your skills in this fight and really remind people that you're someone to be noticed in this division?
Yeah, I was supposed to be main event on Valentine's Day in February in Denver, fighting Brandon Thatch. I ended up tearing the cartilage in my ribs, and so I was out for that fight. But to get another main event shot is awesome. I mean, UFC's they're finally seeing and recognizing me and know what I can do. I love, I'm a fighter. I like to go out there and put on a show, and hopefully I can do that for you guys, July 12th.
What do you make of Jake's last performances, though? He's back on the winning streak and putting things together well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his last fight with Koscheck was awesome. His last 3 fights, I mean, he's lost to the top 3 guys, and so you can't take that away from Jake. Jake he's a tough dude, good wrestler. He's got power in his hands, it makes for a great fight. So everybody's hopefully going to see some sparks flying, and going to put on a good show for you guys.
Well, that would mean he would have to stand up with you then for the sparks to fly. We already know what you do when you stand up.
Yeah, I know when I step in there, most of the guys that are going to be fighting are going to want to take me down. I mean, they just are. So I'm constantly working on my wrestling, especially when you got Chris Weidman in your corner, and as a training partner, you can't ask for a better wrestler.
How much have you improved in your wrestling with Weidman? I mean, what does he taught you? I'm sure there's some things.
Oh yeah, I mean, stuff here and there. It's top secret, but you guys will see it hopefully in under a month. So.
Was it hard for you to transition great kickboxing into MMA? Because a lot of people will stand more upright, and then it's so easy to take them down. Was it hard? Is that why you widened your base, or were you always doing that?
Actually, that's exactly what I've done. I fought kickboxing for many years, and went straight from kickboxing after a major knee injury right into MMA. So I consider myself still green when it comes to the wrestling jiu-jitsu. So I'm learning as much as I can, as fast as I can. But yes, I actually keep a wide stance for those wrestlers. Before I fought MMA, I was training with guys like George St. Pierre, Rashad Evans, and those guys. And every time I would shoot in or blitz in with my striking, I was down on my butt. They took me down every time. So yeah, I had to modify my stance a little bit.
With Chris, obviously Vitor has been a needle or a thorn in his side for a long time. Inside the camp, though, how much did he talk about him? How annoyed was he with Vitor? Was there a lot of dialogue about him?
Actually, no. I mean, being back in New York and Long Island training with Chris, he doesn't. He stays focused on his training and what he's got to do. And I think all fighters should are like that. Yeah, for the fight to hype the fight up. They talk a little bit, but when it really comes down to it, they really don't care. All right, if they let those emotions fly in the cage, then that's when you start making your mistakes, and that's when your opponent's going to capitalize on it.
But he was very emotional yesterday.
He was, man. From what I hear, I heard, I could kind of read his lips a little bit, how he was talking about Vitor's, testosterone were higher than him, and Chris is, 10 years younger than him, so.
What are your thoughts on that with Vitor? Everybody's got an opinion about Vitor. Do you have one on the higher testosterone is heading into the weigh-ins?
Vitor, he's an older guy. You know what I mean? And to stay with the game, especially with these high athletes, guys, top of his game, you got to be doing something. The guy's, almost 40? Look at him. So, I don't agree with it, obviously. It's cheap. It's cheap.
You bring a different kind of stand-up to the cage. Is it hard for you to improve? Because, let's say I start fighting. I can watch you, I can watch you shoot, I can watch it. But you're kind of in your own little box. So what do you do to improve? Just work on what got you here and then kind of transition it more? Or what do you watch? What do you like watching to improve yourself?
Well, I'm always, like you said, I'm a fighter, and I'm always improving with my jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but I had to modify, like you said, my striking in the beginning, and I always stick to my basics, what I came up doing, and that's what people want to see. People want to see people standing up, knocking each other out, and I like to put on a good show, and hopefully I can do that for you guys. And so, yeah, I'm always constantly going back and working on my striking and trying to make it better, and hopefully making it work for MMA. You know.
You always hear people say like, oh, he has K1 level striking, but you generally do could go compete for K1. What do you think when they say that about a regular guy? Do you look at it and go, no, he doesn't?
Yeah, I think it's cool that people, that they say that about me. But K1's different, man. It's a different style. It's a whole different ball game. I mean, you take a normal MMA guy and stick him in there with a K1 guy, and it's striking only. It's over. I mean, that's what those guys specifically do. That's all they train for. So it's different, and that's what took me a little bit longer to transition from my kickboxing to MMA.
How did wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that affect your stand-up? It's just completely different.
It is. It was rough. In the beginning, I'm so used to striking. It's a totally different, muscle stamina thing, so to say. So, I mean, it tires you out. But if you're in wrestling shape, then fighting shape is easy.
And this is a strange one for me. How did you improve your timing? Because your timing is perfect. You know your distance. How did you personally improve your timing and your distance? You just measure your arm every day? And think,
No.
if he's this far away from me, I can...
Yeah, and that just goes on, in mat time. Just being on the mat for many years. I've been in martial arts since I was 3 years old. Kind of had them say so. My dad owns a martial arts school in Greenville, South Carolina. So, I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. We all started at the age of 3, and it's just what I've been doing my whole life. And so, yeah, when I'm out there fighting, I know where I should be, where I need to be in order to hit you. And I just do it, man.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, sorry, but I just do it. It's hard to explain it. It's a feel thing, kind of like in jiu-jitsu. A lot of guys can roll with their eyes closed. It's a feel thing, and that's what it is with striking as well.
See, what do you walk around at? Because you look pretty lean. You're going to be obviously fighting at 170 pounds, but a lot of the guys seem a little thicker than you do when they're, out.
Yeah, well, I walk around about 193. 195 is the heaviest, really.
Yeah.
I try to stay around there. During my fight camp, of course, I drop a little bit. I'll get down to 190, 188, 190, so I fluctuate. And I try and stay right there until about 2 weeks before my fight. And I just feel comfortable there. I've been up to 210, 205. I did that before I fought Matt Brown, and it definitely didn't work out for me there. So I decided to stay low, and I feel much better. And the weight cuts gets easier and easier. It's a science, man, the way these guys do it, So.
I personally I don't think weight cutting is as good for some people, because that's how deaths happen in college wrestling.
Right.
Going forward, do you think that could be potentially a thing, or do you think it is such a science that no one will get really badly hurt?
Yeah, well, cutting that much weight, there's no getting around it. It's bad for you. But there's a right way. You get guys who try and cut 25 pounds overnight. Yeah, you're going to have some problems. Your kidneys are going to hurt. That's why you get some of these guys out there who don't make their money. So, the best thing, especially for the guys up and coming, get somebody who knows what they're doing, to help you with that. And I think the more your body does it, the more it gets accustomed to it, and the easier you lose that weight. Your body's used to it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
See you soon.